Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Video today is going to be about why I think body sugaring should be outlawed.
No sugar tonight in my coffee. No sugar tonight in my tea. No sugar to stand beside me. No sugar to run with me.
I think that sugaring should be actually outlawed by the state board, and I'll tell you why. So if you want to find out, keep watching. So the reason that I think sugaring should be outlawed for bikini waxing is because it is an inferior product for the job. Sugaring, if you're not familiar, is a thick, sticky goo that is actually made from sugar. It's basically like if you were gonna make candy and you're boiling sugar and it turns into this like kind of syrupy mixture. As you cook it and cook the water out, it gets like stickier and stickier, and eventually it will turn into like a caramel, and if you keep boiling it, it would eventually turn into like a hard candy. Okay, sugaring is somewhere like between, you know, being like a liquid and being like turning into caramel. It's just this kind of thick, like sticky goo, and it is smeared on the skin and then flicked off in sort of like one motion. And because it's sticky, it should be catching your hair in it and pulling it off. The problem is it's not very strong, so it is sticky and it can oftentimes grab a hair and pull it out, but oftentimes it can't. And that's really where my specific issue with sugaring lies, because when you pull on a hair but you don't pull it all the way out, it snaps back. It hurts really, really, really bad. There's only one thing that hurts worse than pulling a hair out by the root, and that's pulling on it and letting it snap back. It really hurts. It stings. It creates like a micro bruise just under the skin surface, and it takes a couple of days to heal that. So it just creates this fairly tender feeling. Another thing, because you can't get the hair out sometimes on the first try because the product is just physically not strong enough to pull the hair out, particularly when you're talking about pubic hairs. Underarm hairs would be the same way. They're very coarse. They have a large bulb. And so you're having to pull that out through like a small opening in the pore. That takes a strong product. So sugaring is not strong enough to pull that hair out all the way on the first try. So the technician will keep smearing this product and flicking it off like over and over and over to try to get those hairs out. So first of all, that's really uncomfortable. But secondly is that when you keep pulling on this hair, the sugar may not ever actually pull it out by the root, but what it will do by continually tugging at it is it will weaken the hair and it will break just at the skin surface or just below, because it was kind of pulling it. So it's wiggling it and will eventually break it. So guess what's going to happen 2 or 3 days after you were sugared is you have a whole bunch of ingrown hairs. You've got bumps, you've got redness, you've got irritation, you've still got some hairs, like it didn't get everything out, and then you immediately will be like, my hair's already growing back. Well, the thing is, it's not the hairs that you just pulled out by the root, it's the hairs that didn't come out by the root, and it's these hairs. They are very susceptible to becoming ingrowns and these inflamed red bumps. So I have had countless clients talk about how bad of ingrown hairs they get with sugaring. And when I ask them, did you get those ingrown hairs 2 weeks after your appointment when the hairs were growing back in? Or did you get the hairs 2 or 3 days after the appointment? They almost always with sugaring will say that they got them 2 or 3 days later, or even the same day, and they didn't really understand why That's why it's not pulling your hair out by the root, it's breaking it off. It looks awful. It's not a thorough result. It hurts like hell. And then you have a bunch of inflamed, irritated, ingrown hairs. And where's the good result in that? The reason I think the product should be, banned is because specifically for those two reasons. One, it's too painful. It's not the right way to do it. There's a better way. There's a better product. And I feel like if you're going to do Brazilian wax, it's something that is a very sensitive area, and you must protect the skin, and you must protect your client from needless pain and discomfort. Now, the people that do body sugaring, they always have their marketing ploys. They tell people it's less painful than waxing, and then it's going to be more comfortable for them, and people believe it. People call me constantly asking for body sugaring, and I say no, I don't do that, and they don't want to know why I don't do it. They just believe that it's less painful than waxing, so they're dead set on having sugaring done. Well, the thing is, the people that are promoting body sugaring and they're saying it's less painful than waxing, they're saying it's less painful than strip waxing. And in that statement, they are actually correct. Strip waxing, when used for Brazilians and underarms and face, it can tear your skin. It's an extremely sticky and hot product. I only use it for leg waxing. It's suitable for leg waxing, but it's not suitable for Brazilian area, for an underarm or a face wax. It's just too sticky. Your skin is too delicate, and it can take with it the top layer of your skin. It can tear your skin. It's very painful. It's very hot. It just creates a more traumatic waxing experience. It's more painful. So when people who do sugaring say that it's less painful than waxing, they are talking about strip waxing. They are not talking about, excuse me, I have a little allergy. I'm all, gross and boogery. Anyways, let's get back on track. So they're not talking about hard waxing. Hard waxing is the superior product. It is the right way to do face, underarm, all bikini waxing, because it is strong. It can pull the hair out on the first try. It gets a good grip on the hair, and it doesn't stick to the skin. So you've eliminated a lot of the pain and discomfort and damage to the skin, and you're creating a very thorough result on the first try versus second try. So yeah, when you hear that sugaring is less painful than waxing, you can be certain that it is going to be less painful in the regard that it's not going to rip your skin off. It's actually going to be more painful than strip waxing, because at least a strip wax is strong enough to pull the hair out by the root. Sugaring can't even do that. If I had to rank the three techniques in order from best to worst, obviously it's going to be hard wax number one, which in my opinion is the only right way to do Brazilian. Number two would be strip wax, because at least when used properly, you can give a thorough result. And if you have a really good technique, you can probably avoid any of the tearing the skin or taking skin off. Though that certainly is a serious issue, and is an issue that makes that product something that I do not use on bikini waxing. And lastly would be sugaring. It is just such a terrible product. I think it has absolutely no place in any modern salon or spa. I think it's outdated. I think it addressed a very specific issue with strip waxing about tearing the skin, and that was great, but it didn't do a good enough job. And it certainly is not a quality enough product that would ever surpass hard waxing. Hard waxing is always going to be the gold standard and the way to go for all your face, underarm, and Brazilian waxing. So back to the original topic at hand and why I think it should be banned. The state board does occasionally ban products and services that they deem unsafe for the public. There have been a few hair straightening ingredients or perm ingredients, skin bleaching, the razor blades that people used to use to remove dead skin, like calluses and pedicures and things like that. There are certain acrylics, nail acrylics that were deemed unsafe for people to breathe in the fumes and the dust and things like that. So every now and then, the state board does step in and say, this is not safe. I really think that sugaring poses a risk for skin infection, and it is too painful. It's barbaric. It is not a good technique. It is the wrong way to provide Brazilian services, and I think that technicians, cosmetologists, and estheticians who are going to be doing Brazilian services should be doing it properly, and I truly believe that means hard wax. I want all of my competitors to use hard wax because I want everyone who goes anywhere to get a wax to have a good experience. That's going to create a lifelong devoted waxing client. If someone goes out and gets sugaring or strip wax, that may seem like it's good for my competition, that I can do a better job, but it's actually worse because then people have these really painful and bad experiences and they say, I had a wax, it was terrible, I'm never doing that again. And it doesn't matter what you tell them, they've just decided it was traumatic and they're not going to do it. And so you actually can lose, potential to keep a client year after year after year and be loyal, not even loyal to you, but just loyal to waxing as a thing they want to do. So I would really like to see all of my competitors in town and just really waxers in general step up, learn how to use hard wax, spend the extra money for the product and the supplies to do it, learn the technique, give people really consistently good and pain-free waxing experiences, because that's the right thing to do. So anyways, that's what I think about that. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can comment below. I answer everything. If you have a private question, you can email me at michelle@bikiniunderground.com. You can contact me through my website at www.bikiniunderground.com. You can find me on Yelp, on Instagram, that's bikiniunderground.com. You can find me on Facebook under the same name. I'd love to hear from you, and as always, you can text me for appointments at 806-340-1518. Thanks for watching and have a happy waxy day. So I was almost done editing this video and I just had to hop back on really quick because I remembered one of the reasons that sugaring is so super duper gross and why I think it should be outlawed. The way that you use sugar is you take like one ball of it and you smear it on and peel it off, and it's gonna have like hairs in it. But you don't throw that away. You keep using the same ball of wax that has your hairs and like skin cells and microscopic little blood droplets and whatever, like, and then you just keep like smearing it over your skin. I just think that is so disgusting and so unsanitary. Like with hard wax, you dip one stick, you put it on the skin, you throw that stick immediately in the trash. And when you pull the wax off, you also just peel the wax off once it's cool. But that goes immediately in the trash. You would never like remelt that and smear it back on the skin. It's gross. Like, that is trash. And I think that's really gross about sugaring, and probably a greater risk for infections and spread of infections. So yeah, ew. Let's do away with that. Well, don't do that. Like, don't sign up for that ever.